I outbid a developer to buy this farm, can I really hold on to this farm? Which is one major part of sustainability. Paying for the land that you're farming on. Increasingly, especially here within a 2-hour radius of cities like Philadelphia and New York City, the land values are increasingly hard to afford for farmers because the development pressure is too great. So that's one part of sustainability, is being able to pay for the land you're farming on, and another part of it is being able to pay a decent wage to your employees. So what I've done in the long run is I've balanced a lot of the really great organic ideas I've gleaned from reading and from visiting other organic farms or talking to other organic farms, balanced it with what other farmers have done to stay in business with large acreage by doing a well thought out rotation of, say, rye and corn and soybeans and oats and clover. We didn't really get the field cleaned up until just a week or so ago, and I noticed it was kind of dry. It was kind of warm last week, so I suddenly got into my head, why don't I chisel plow this real quickly and get some rye? And one thing I've learned about planting cover crops is I don't like to see a field be bare for a winter. It just should always have something growing in it. The rye in there will hold on to nutrients. It will add all kinds of organic matter. Imagine rye growing up. It looks like a grass, right? It's a little grass. It shoots out roots like this, just masses of roots. All those roots going out like this, like a big head of hair of Medusa underground. All those roots add up to tons and tons of organic matter that you're just putting into the soil. And as that organic matter breaks down, it does a couple things. First of all, it aerates the soil, because where it breaks down, it's already sort of tunneled into the ground. You know, I love when I plow up rye in the spring, because you see all these worms. They're just chowing down on the rye, on the roots. I remember it was 9/11. I remember that winter we moved into town, and I still had a farmhouse that we were renting, and it sort of became an office space where I could go and I could get time to myself. And there was something about 9/11 that just sort of said, hey, do something. It was just this sort of moment that really affected me in a lot of ways, because it happened in New York City, which is where I sold tomatoes, and so I started writing. And after about 4 or 5 years of writing, I actually got a book contract and wrote a book. The farming, it's right there, it's right in front of me. But the acts of, I often feel that the acts of plowing and writing are really two different things. I'll be honest, when it's 95 degrees for 6 days in a row, I'm pretty used to it after one day, and it doesn't really affect me. If I'm used to being inside in air conditioning all the time, well, yes, I don't want to go outside that much. But I'm proud of the fact that I'm outside, and that my employees are outside, and that we're, you know, you just really feel alive when you're out there doing the work. There's a lot of skill involved here. You have to get things done fast. You have to organize. You have to think. Every day is a new problem, a new set of problems, and you have to think it through and just conquer it. And if you don't do it in a reasonable amount of time, well, then you lose money. So that's another part of the equation is salesmanship. And I guess some people might say I'm more of a salesman than a farmer. I don't know, because I do see some really exceptional farmers around here who end up having to be price takers. Nobody's saying, well, you know, your quality's better, therefore we're going to give you a little more. So that to me is part of it. Part of the sustainability too is finding a way to sell this so I can pay the workers well. I can't pay them the way Bill Gates can pay a prodigy computer whiz, but enough that they can make a living at it. This is the only bare brown patch you see in the whole field, because if you look out over the rest of the field, everything else is planted in some kind of cover crop or another. Right up here is the field I was talking about. It's in grass. It's a little yellow. We're going to spread probably some cow manure over it this winter, maybe some mushroom soil. If you look up there, above there, that's really lush with oats, and that oats will be killed off, and in with that oats is clover, some Canadian field peas. The clover will survive the winter, and then the field up above and the field below where you just see light grasses, that's triticale, which is a cross between rye and wheat. And if you go further, way out there, the bottom section is all clover. There's a huge field, and that's where we'll plant tomatoes next year. If you look at beyond, there's the huge tree. On the other side of that is a field of nothing but clover. It's lush with clover. And it's probably about an 8-acre field, and in the spring next year that whole clover field will get plowed up in patches and planted with tomatoes.